So we watched Halloween. And Miley's introduction to Halloween, the Halloween franchise.
The Halloween franchise. One of my first horror movies, really.
And,
I guess I watched
and The Final Girl.
Yeah, and The Final Girl.
So what did we think?
I really liked that.
Yeah?
I really enjoyed it, yeah.
What did you think about Laurie?
She's got to be one of the coolest Final Girls ever. She protects herself, but also has protected everybody else around her to make sure that everybody that is in the house is safe, and that everybody comes out alive that was in the house with her and that Michael doesn't hurt anyone, doesn't hurt her. She was just so cool.
Yeah, because there's that moment where she makes the promise.
Yeah, she makes the promise, and she kept that promise.
She's like, I'm not about to let anything happen to you.
No, she kept those kids safe.
It's like one of the most legit promises in horror movie history.
Yeah.
Because usually when they say that, you're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Laurie's awesome.
But Laurie was like, nah, they ain't nothing happening.
Laurie's a role model for real.
So what, did you find anything about it particularly scary? Like, what's the scariest, I guess, scene or moment?
When she's sitting like in the hallway area, the kids have just left to go with the neighbors, and you can just see him slowly sneaking up behind her. She thinks that she's good.
Like when
the
he
kids
sits up behind her?
That seems scary too. I forgot about that. That's terrifying. It scared the crap out of me. No, when she's sitting there and she's sitting in the hallway.
In the doorway.
Standing in the doorway, yes. And he slowly coming up behind her, and you can see him slowly going up behind her. And the kids had just left to go get someone. And
right.
Not Billy. Remus.
Loomis,
yes. What is his name?
Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Loomis.
Sam.
What's his first name? Sam. Sorry, I had
That's right. Yeah.
Somebody else had confused me with another character from the Halloween franchise that I don't know yet. Sorry.
That's a character from the Scream franchise. But we'll
Loomis,
get to that.
No, Billy Loomis is a character. That's why I got confused. You're right. Yeah. My fault.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's my fault. Okay. My sister has been talking. Audrey has been talking. No, and they're going to get him, and then he slowly is in the hallway, and she thinks that it's over. She's like holding onto her arm, and she's like,
right.
She's letting herself like calm down a little bit, and then he's right behind her, and I'm like,
they did that scene with a light dimmer, so he just kind of appears behind her. He was there already, and then they used a light dimmer, and that's one of the things I love about Halloween.
He didn't really come up behind her. He just stood there.
He was there, yeah. He was like watching her.
Because that was a little bit of a jump scare for me. I was like, oh,
definitely,
he's there. Oh,
that's the scene where I was like I was already in the first time I ever watched it. It took me a long time because when I was a kid, I thought they were just like the Friday the 13th movies, so I kind of avoided them, thinking they were just slashery, But then when I get to that scene, I'm like, oh, this guy knows how to make a movie. Because it's John Carpenter.
Yeah.
What else? Any thoughts about the teens, the girls? Irritating?
Yes, they boil.
But did you find them to have a realistic?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even now, even these years later, when it's this made.
1978.
There are still kids like this.
Yeah.
And I mean, not trying to brag or anything, but I would like to think that I'm a Laurie in this kind of world. She's. Although, I mean, she is a little. I mean, like, the other teenagers are very. Wow, I kind of want to punch you.
Overbearing?
Thank you. Overbearing. That's a good word for it. They're very overbearing.
But you still felt bad when...
Of course. I mean, there was even times where I go, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, he's in there.
Because they are good friends with each other. They're like... Yeah.
They're nice to each other.
Did you think their dialogue was realistic?
Yes. I do think there are certain things they said that was realistic. I did see the point in which it was like, I was like, no, these are the type of girls that they talk about when they're like, girls in slasher films. These are them.
Which is funny because this is one of the first slasher films.
But I do think that when people say girls in slasher films, that's how girls would act in real life. Not that I'm saying all girls. I'm saying that some...
You want some of them to be like Laurie, but you're worried that they
But I'm worried that if something like this really happened, that they'd be more like these other two girls.
Yeah.
That does worry me a little bit.
Yeah, because there's a couple things that Annie could have noticed.
Yeah.
Like, she goes in to get the keys. Yeah. And when she comes out, the door
is open.
Yeah, the door's
and she left it open.
She didn't realize it.
And the person that closed it, that they had already let him in the house, and when he closed it, which I was like, oh, thank the Lord he closed it, but it was a stupid time to close it then. Like, you locked yourself in with a killer.
Yeah.
Idiots. But I feel like that's my problem. I mean, I even think I would probably be like some of those girls a little bit.
Yeah, because you never know how you're gonna react. Your mind's not on the moment.
It's fight or flight.
Your mind's not thinking, "Oh, Michael Myers is in this car or
Yeah.
outside this door or whatever."
Yeah, it's not. It's frightening. It's
Right.
like, I mean, I'm gonna agree. I'm not gonna be a Lori in every situation. I mean, I do fight sometimes in fight or flight, but I'm not gonna be a Lori.
Yeah.
I might freeze.
Right.
I mean, as much as, a few minutes ago when I said I'd like to think of myself as a Lori, I don't think I would be, though.
Right.
I would try to protect people, but I don't think my brain would be on.
But you'd try.
I'd try.
There's nothing wrong with that. And what did you think about the music?
Oh, that was a really good score. I really like the score.
Do you know that John Carpenter did the score as well?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
He's a really impressive person.
Yeah.
He's a really
Yeah.
impressive person.
A lot of people believe he's probably the best horror director,
I mean,
I have a few guys that I love, but Carpenter's probably my favorite.
I've only seen a few of what people would classify as horror movies. I've seen a lot of horror movies, but I've only seen a few about what normal people would classify
Like
as
a modern horror movie.
Yeah, thank you, modern horror movies. But
Because you've seen your share of older ones.
I have. I've seen. Well, I mean, what is this whole series?
And those count.
Those do count. I mean, classic horror films. That's what
Yeah.
this is called.
In some ways, those are the best.
I mean, they're
Like
iconic.
Bride of Frankenstein.
Yeah,
It's hard to beat.
that is. I love that movie so much.
So, Halloween, Bruce Campbell calls it the Cadillac of slasher movies. What would you say overall? What was your takeaway? Would you call it a masterpiece?
I would call that a masterpiece.
You ready to watch it again?
Absolutely.
Sometime? Yeah.
I loved it. I thought that it was very Halloween-y, which
Yeah.
amazing. I think that I would love to watch it on during like the Halloween weekend
Yeah.
and or outside.
Ooh, yeah, like a screen outside. Mhm.
I like that. I really thought the characters were very complex. They had me intrigued by every character, even the ones that I didn't like.
They're like three-dimensional.
I mean, there was even a few times. What's the other girl's name?
Annie?
No, the other one. There was even
Linda.
There was even
Yeah.
a few times when Linda could have seen like some.
Yeah.
You think he just disappeared?
Poor Linda.
Poor Linda. Her
Totally.
death was the funniest. I mean, her dying wasn't funny. I mean, like the way that it happened was hilarious.
Like homeboy showing up in the sheet.
That's so mean.
Yeah.
She
That's
was irritating,
rough.
though.
Yeah. Poor Linda.
She was like a little more of like a ditz, I would think. Like
Yeah.
her character was meant to be like a ditz, so I can't really completely hate on Linda.
That's PJ Souls. Sweetest person in real life.
She seems like a sweet person. See,
She did free pictures. I met her. She did a free
that's
pictures.
so sweet.
Yep. So, what about Dr. Loomis?
He was so funny.
Yeah.
I really liked the one where he's like he had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, and then
Devil's eyes.
and then death has come to your little town. I really liked both those
Yeah.
monologues.
Because he's so good at making you believe that he's really thinking that.
Yeah, he feels this way. He's like, dude, this guy's evil. He said if this man has no haters, I'm dead. That's
Right.
What he said. Michael Myers has no haters, I'm dead.
I think it might be Halloween 2. This isn't a spoiler, but some guy says he's been trick-or-treated to death. It's like, is this a joke? I've been trick-or-treated to death. And he's like, you don't know what death is.
Loomis is so great.
Loomis rules. So overall takeaway, though,
I really enjoyed
mean,
it. I mean, it was incredible.
2 thumbs way up
Can't even get it on the camera.
for Halloween.
I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right.
Halloween.